Hey, what's up? It's Chris Young. What do you say we take a few minutes, talk about the features, and meet your brand new Forest River Salem Cruise Lite 263 BHXL. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Young. We're going to take a few minutes and talk about the features and meet your brand new Forest River Salem Cruise Lite 263 BHXL. Let's start right up front with where pretty much everybody is going to start, the hitch. Now, you have the powered hitch on this one, and I want to talk about three main components of it. You got the manual override and the rubber stopper there. You got the rocker switch for your LED light, great for having some additional safety and security. And then you got your rocker switch for setting up and leveling your RV. Now, up raises the front of the hitch, down lowers the front of the hitch. And when you're leveling your RV, you want to go, side to side first and then front to back. But having this is a great option, especially when you want to do it quickly. Now, if you don't have power or you don't have battery and you need to adjust your hitch, you do have this manual override, which is just a little nut in there that you put the handle on, and you can crank the handle depending on which direction you need to go. So give you some good little options there. Now, right behind there is our two 20-pound LP tanks and covers. Now, class, who can tell me why is this incorrect right off the bat? Yes, Robert. Put your hand down. Yes, these are actually facing the wrong way. When you're setting your cover on top of your LP tank, try to get these knobs, the enclosures, facing the coach. Because what that'll do is that'll keep the wind from popping the top up. Because as you can see right here, you see how we have the little lip right there? Wind can get in there and pop that up. But if it's facing the coach, you don't have to worry about it. Now, with your two 20-pound LP tanks, obviously they work pretty much just like the LP tank for your grill. Open it to open the flow. Make sure this is tight and connected, and same way. Now, you do have a little quick access connector right down here below your regulator. But if you want to use the left tank, just make sure the left tank is open. You want to use the right tank, make sure the right tank is open. Let's put this on here. Oh, Bob, while I got this off, let's talk about the battery disconnect, which is located on the frame. Sorry about that, buddy. Tight little fit for the camera. But very nice feature to have the battery disconnect, and the key is even removable. Now we make our way over to the campsite, and right over here, I'm going to start from the bottom and let's go up. You do have the manual stabilizer jacks. Now inside your pass-through storage, you do have some components to help you operate this. You got the drive that hooks on to your drill right there to raise and lower. You also have this strong arm handle, which you'll notice you got the strong arms to give you some additional support when down there. If you do need to adjust it, you got the tool right here, all located on these Velcro straps and retainers right there. Now, you also have a dry erase surface on your 31 by 16 inch storage door. Very nice little feature if you need to leave some additional notes. They are magnetic and anti-slam. Now, for your Solera 12-volt awning like you see right here, by Lippert. This does have the adjustable pitch, but a couple of things to talk about when adjusting the pitch. Number one, adjust it from underneath the awning. Because when you pull down, if there's been any rain, what could happen is that could come down on top of you if you're standing where Bob is standing. The other thing is before you roll the awning back in, make sure you push it back up level so that when you do roll the awning in, you don't get it to go in cockeyed or you end up having some issues. Your 263 BHXL does feature solid steps. Very nice safety feature when going in and out of your coach. Just, be careful because there is some weight to it. So when you want to raise them up, just lift them up. And you'll notice that there is a latch that keeps them secure and some rocks in the legs. This latch, to remove it, you just pull it and bring it down. You do have the adjustable feet right here with the little push button. So push it in, you can raise and lower the foot to wherever you need it. Just make sure when you are setting these down that they are flush on the ground and that the retainer plate up here is also flush. Because if this is raised a little bit or if the stairs are too high, then you won't be able to shut the door properly. And that could also cause some issues. And those steps do have a 500-pound max capacity on them. On your 263 BHXL, you also have an enclosed underbelly known as the accessibelly, which allows you to access parts of the underside of the coach, like the tanks, one panel at a time. You don't have to take off the entire underbelly. You also have an LP quick connect right here for your outside kitchen or your portable grill. You got the switch that opens and closes your LP, plus you got your white tank flush right here. And up above, you do have the outside kitchen. Now, you got the Suburban griddle on this one. Great little additional campsite. You got some prep space. You got the Everchill fridge with the little mini freezer compartment right there, all covered up by one of those anti-slam doors. Now, right above your outside kitchen is your fresh tank fill. So you'll notice that you got the little vent right here to keep the air coming out. If you're filling this up and water starts spurting out of the vent, that means you've overfilled. You can always just go down and open up the access to drain some if you need some. 110 and cable plus external sprayer port right here. You got a 25,000 BTU Suburban furnace on your 263 BHXL, and this is the back of the furnace or the vents. Now, since it is on the campsite, one thing to note, if you are running the furnace inside and you got camp chairs set up out here, please do not block this with your camp chairs, because that is hot air, and if your camp chair is a fabric, hot air and fabric sometimes can cause some issues. You do have the Dexter Easy Lube axles on this one. And one thing to note on that, talk to your technician, your specialist, about your Dexter Easy Lube axles, because you want to get those bearings repacked about every year. If you get down here and you notice that the wheel assembly is just super hot and you can't touch it, you can insert some lube in there with the Dexter Easy Lubes, like 1 or 2 pumps, but get it to a Camping World or a Gander service center as soon as possible, or call Good Sam Roadside, see if they can help you out. But those are awesome. Great little upgraded feature from the manufacturer. Rear stabilizer jack right here gives you a better visual of that strong arm and the adjustable turn point right there, which was the tools that we showed you just a little while ago. Steel steps that lead into your bathroom here. To pull these out, just once again, always be careful with anything grabbing or pulling. You want to make sure when you pull the steel steps that both sides are all the way down. Grab the safety handle, lower the bottom step. There you go. Low point drains on this one as well to open and close, to flush out if you need the hot and the cold. Sewer hose storage on the back. Backup camera up there as well. Cable connection, city water connection, and black tank flush. Very nice option to have, but you should have 2 separate hoses for these connections. Potable water hose for your freshwater connection, and just a regular hose for your black tank flush. And if you're like me, your diet consists solely of coffee and beef, then this is extremely handy. But when you're flushing it out, make sure that the black tank is open before you do the flush, because that could be a bad day if you apply any water pressure to that. All right. Back of your water heater right here. This is the Suburban water heater. Now, this is your pressure release valve right here. Just be careful with this, because this is to allow some air at the top of the tank inside the water heater. So when you're releasing it, get yourself a coffee mug, set it under there, pull the, to release that additional water pressure. Just make sure you do it after the water heater has cooled down. Do not do it while it's running, because what is it producing? Hot water. So just be careful with that. You need to do a reset. You got the double reset switches right there. Anode rod right here, which you can replace, roughly once a year. Flash tube and igniter, as well as flash cover right here. Now, if you had your unit in storage for a while and you go to get it out, a good rule of thumb or something good to do is to just take a pipe cleaner and clean out this flash tube, because propane has mercaptan in it. Mercaptan's a very delicious smell to a lot of insects, spiders, dirt daubers, bees, and they'll build nests or build things inside of there that could mess up your hot water heater. You can also tell if there's dirt and debris inside the flash tube if here outside the exhaust there's debris coming up the side of your coach. Just, pay attention to that. Try to get it cleaned out if you can. Got your main terminations right here. you'll see your gray tanks denoted by the gray handles and your black tank denoted by the black handle. Now, when you're set up at the campsite, you don't have to always have these open while you're set up. As a matter of fact, we try to tell you, keep them closed if you can, especially the black tank, because pyramiding can happen. And what that means is that solid waste in there, if there's no fluid to keep it moving, it'll just build a pyramid. And then when you go to flush it out, it could cause you some issues. If it sits there, it could cause some false readings on your monitors. So just be careful with that. When you do go to dump, do the black tank first and then the gray tanks to give you a chance to clean out that termination. 30 amp plug right here. If you're lucky enough to have a cord that gives you the light to see that you have power, bam, you got it right there. Just make sure that when you're locked in, you lock and twist and then screw this in for a secure connection. If you're not getting power, check the breakers at the post. Now you got the Schwintek slides on this one, the worm groove. One of the things we like to say is, about every 6 months, if you can, get some bulb seal lubricant and lube those seals so that you have a good slide in and out, a good connection when they are in, and they won't dry rot on you. I'm gonna come around here, Bobby. On the campsite, you'll see the other stabilizer jack right there, plus the other side, you pass through storage, as well as your info panel right here. So now that we've talked about some of the features on the outside of your Forest River Salem Cruise Lite 263 BHXL, let's take a jaunt on the inside and see what we got in there. Okay, so the first thing you want to look for inside your 263 BHXL is probably going to be this info panel, which will be located at the end of your cabinetry. This is where you go to run out the slides, run out the awning, and run off your lights as well. We're going to start from the bottom and go to the top. This is your awning control. Up rolls it in, down rolls it out. This is the slide control. Up runs it in, and down runs it out. There you go. Now on this one, you do have a water pump and a water heater with a 6-gallon DSI bypass on it. The water pump will be used when you're boondocking. If you're set up to freshwater connection, you don't need this. When you do cut on the water heater, it'll try to fire it. Since we don't have propane, that light's going to stay on, but once it goes lit, that light will go off. Here are your light controls as well as a dimmer control. Now, this is unique to the Forest River Salems because if you notice, you hit the button to cut them off and on. But if you want to dim them, you push and hold, and that'll dim the lights, and then you push and hold again, and that'll brighten the lights. Just a nice little added feature for an aesthetic. Check your battery, check your fresh black and gray and galley tanks. Now, if you go to run the slide out and you notice it's not operating properly and you're running off the coach batteries, check your battery. If you're under 2/3, that's why. You need at least 12 volts to run those slides out. If you're gonna check your black and your gray and your galley tanks, let's say you get finished dumping them and you check them and you notice it's still reading 2/3 and not empty or it's reading full, but you know you dumped them, give it about 15 minutes because both of those tanks have sensors on them, and every now and then some water will create a connection in between those sensors that could possibly give you a false reading. If any of this, you're hooked up to shore power or you got enough battery or you know you flushed the tanks and you're still not confident with the results that you're getting, bring your 263 BHXL in to a Camping World of Gander and let our service folks take a look at it. Here in the kitchen, you'll notice you got the drying rack right here. Plus you have your high-rise faucet with water controls. Hot is over here, cold is over there. This opens and this closes. You do have a Greystone 3-burner cooktop on this one with the glass cover that doubles as prep space. Lift that up, remove it. You do have an high output on the front one. Now, the way that you light these, thank you, Bobby. The way that you light these, you pick the burner that you want. You turn the dial. If you had propane, you can probably hear it running. And you just turn the handle. You can see where we have the little ignition switch going. See how it's flashing down there? You can only turn this igniter switch one way, which is good because you don't want to turn it the other way because that'll break it. And always make sure that when you get done, you push and turn the knob to off and it's securely in off. Now, if you know you have propane and you've given it time to run through the lines to access your cooktop, but it's still not firing, you can lift this panel up and there's a connector on either side that sometimes when it's in transit will come disconnected. Just reconnect it. That should get the igniter back and working. If you're still not getting any fire, bring it in, let our service folks take a look at it. Now, when operating your oven, make sure the oven door is open before you cut it on. The oven knob will usually be the last one here on the right. Push in and turn to the fire icon and then give it a couple of spins. Same thing, if you know you do not have propane, or if you know you have propane, you're still not lighting, bring it in, let our service folks take a look at it. Greystone microwave up here works just like any other microwave would. Your Everchill 12-volt fridge, which is 10.7 cubic feet. You got the fridge freezer combo up top. You got your dial to tell you, if you want cold or if you want colder. And down here, you can cycle through the options for what temperature control you want. And to cut it off, you just push and hold for 10 seconds. Now, with these 12-volt fridges, we always tell people that they're great. They'll cool stuff down rapidly, much better than the gas electric fridges, but they will also drain your coach battery. So if you do go boondocking, just watch your coach battery, check your battery constantly, and get the 12-volt or get that quick connect for the solar panels. Get your solar panel to help keep this thing charged up. When you want to go in transit, this is your locking switch right there. That keeps you safe and secure from opening while you're out and about. Now, with your 25,000 BTU furnace, you also have a 13,500 BTU Coleman Mach Whisper Quiet AC, which is ducted, but also has the quick cool dumps. With these, some ACs, depending on which one you're going to have inside your unit, will have the filters, some will not. Just check for it. If you want to do your HVAC controls, you'll see you got the option over here with your RVing controller. Just push fans, high, cool, high, low, heat, and off. So there's your temperature controls, up for warmer, down for cooler. Inside your bathroom in your 263BHXL, you got the high-rise porcelain bowl with the foot flush. This is a Dometic bowl, and you'll notice to get water into the tank, you just push the flapper down, or you push the pedal down just a little bit, and then to dump the bowl, you push it all the way down. Now, if you do have water inside this unit, but for some reason it's still draining, that little rubber seal down there, you can take a glove and some Vaseline, just go around the bottom of that rubber seal. That'll help keep that flapper from slipping off of it. Hot and cold on your sink over here. Plus you got a medicine cabinet here that has a nice little feature. It's a suspension string that attaches to this metal clip right here to keep this secure while in transit. There we go. Entry point, GFCI outlet. You do have a shower that has the Aquaflex door on these. These are great because they give you a little additional room, but you'll notice, you got some flexibility there. There's little rubber stoppers here that if you notice, if your shower door does come disconnected, just check and see that these haven't fallen off or twisted off, because the way you replace it is you twist it up, remove it, put the new one in, and twist it. Hot and cold for your shower controls, as well as spray controls right there. Very nice little space, very nice little feature. You do have dual USB charging on your bunks as well, plus a solid mounted ladder. Over here, you'll see your LPO2 detector and your fuse box. Now, what's great about these fuses is there's a red light in the middle, so if one is faulty, you'll know what's wrong. So if you go to run the AC, your fridge isn't working, and you're hooked up to shore power, if you take a look at this fuse box, if one of those are red, that's the one that you can replace. It also has a little handy-dandy window that you can check out as well. Versatility, man. That's what I like about this Versa Lounger. As you can see, this is a multi-configurational setup with your sleeping and entertaining options here inside the slide of your 263BHXL. What does that mean? Well, right here, this will show you. The Versa Lounge allows you to have a booth dinette, a U-shaped dinette, a bed, as well as a larger bed area and chaise lounge with your jackknife sofa. And it's operated mainly by this piece in the middle, which, and let me just go ahead and preface this. Anything that you do with anything inside your RV, if you're uncomfortable lifting or pulling, you got a bad back, bad shoulders, bad knees, whatever it is, ask for some assistance or ask for your specialist to show you an alternate way to get things out, or the proper way to get things out so that you don't hurt yourself. Now with this, I'm just going to lift this up and move it out of the way. And you'll notice right here, right beside the foot of the dinette, which is where the table would rest, you have a metal slot for these legs of the backer to go into. That allows you to change the configuration. So right now we had it set up with the jackknife sofa and the chaise lounge. You'll see we got additional padding here to give us the space that matches the Velcro backer of the wall. And these are great because they're soft, they're plush, they're not that sweat style material. If you did want to set this up as the booth dinette, all you do is kind of slide this over a little bit so you can access the feet. And this is where it might get a little tricky. So make sure you're in both slides and just set it in place. And then you can put this backer right here. Now you got yourself a little booth dinette. Very nice, very easy. Now with your jackknife sofa, you also want to be careful because once again, you got to lift and pull components. So do not overstrain yourself. Make sure you get a good grab, a good foothold, lift up and slide out. It will fold your jackknife sofa down. To put it back, lift up. I like to reach over and grab the back. Then you just push in place and set it down. There you go. Over here on your entertainment center, you do have the Furion AM/FM command center. It is dual zone, so you can play the music inside or out. You got your main power button right there. As you can see, it is mute. To unmute it, you just push the button. That'll take the mute off. Right there, you got your volume controls up and down. You can change the modes. You can plug in your HDMI, USB, as well as your auxiliary, and then to cut it off, just push and hold. You are set up for Wi-Fi extension on this one through the King system. Very nice for extending the 4G LTE and your Wi-Fi. Plus, you have the electric Greystone fireplace. This has multiple flame settings, multiple light settings, and you'll notice the power button over here. This will change your temperature settings as well as, or excuse me, this will change your color. You'll see how we have the orange, the blue, and the combination. This is your levels, the third button. You have a timer and your power button right there. So very nice, but once again, this is electric. This will not run off of the coach batteries. You got to be plugged into shore power to run that. If you are plugged in, you got shore power, everything looks good at the post, the breaker's flipped, the light on your cord is rocking, but you check the fuse box and oh, everything's good there, then bring this in, let our service folks take a look at it for you. And the last room in your 263BHXL is going to be your master bedroom. Now, you do have 110 and dual USB outlets on both sides. Plus, you have struts supporting under your queen size mattress right here. To lift up, just carefully grab and lift, and you notice it is accessible through the pass-through storage. And your shades, no matter where you're at, are pull down shades. So you pull down to release them, to get them to go back up. And you pull down and pull a second time to keep them in place when you're ready to get some shading. 110 and cable for your TV backer, which is located right here. All in all, great features inside your Forest River Salem Cruise Lite 263BHXL. And hopefully this video is giving you some tips and tricks on how to enjoy your RV. Now, if at any time you got questions or you need help, we have an elite service team standing by to assist you with everything that they can. And of course, at any time you can bring your RV in and our folks will be glad to take a look at it for you and help you with it. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure you enjoy that RV to the fullest.